I thought it would be fun to show you how to use some Dollar Tree wreath forms to make some beautiful holiday wreaths for this Christmas. These wreaths are super easy and you can probably do them in just an hour. So let's go make some wreaths.
It all just goes away. The things I plan to say, oh baby.
All of these wreaths that I'm going to be making are using these styrofoam wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. And for this first wreath, I had this really pretty ribbon. I think I actually got it at Home Depot. And I'm just going to secure this ribbon to the wreath using a hot glue gun. And I just put the ribbon onto the form and hold it down while that glue dries. Now this ribbon is really wide. I think it's 3 inches wide, but really that is okay. So I don't think it really matters what size ribbon that you have for using for something like this project. You just have to wrap it really tight around the wreath. And when I wrap the ribbon around the wreath, I am going over the previously wrapped ribbon. So it does use a little bit more ribbon, but I really think it looks very, very pretty. And when I get to the end, then I just secure the end down with some hot glue again and separate the ribbon from the ribbon that's on my wreath. So I only did that about 3/4 of the way around the wreath form. And now I'm taking this yarn, which is kind of like a fuzzy yarn. It's like a Chanel type of yarn. And now I'm going to secure the yarn just right above where one of the sides of the ribbon ended. And I'm just going to wrap this yarn around the wreath that is still the wreath part and not the ribbon part. And this yarn is so soft, and I actually got this at Hobby Lobby when it was on sale for like 30% off. So it wasn't very expensive. I think it cost around $5 being on sale. So it was a pretty good deal, and you get a lot of yarn for that. So now I've got the remaining portion of the wreath that's all been covered, but I'm gonna go back around with some more of the yarn. So it's gonna have 2 layers of that yarn that's gonna go all the way back around to where I started attaching the yarn in the first place. And then I just secured the last little piece of the yarn onto the wreath. Now that is looking pretty festive already. But I want to add something extra, so I found these really pretty sleigh ornaments from Hobby Lobby, and yes, they were 60% off. So I'm going to take one of these sleighs, and he is going to be the centerpiece for the wreath. So I'm going to remove the hanger, and then I'm going to secure the sleigh onto the white portion of the wreath. Now this did take a little bit of glue, so I made sure to have enough glue in my glue gun, and then I just held that little sleigh in place while it dried. And that's what it looks like, but it needs something extra. So I have these little green picks, pine picks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut them apart. And then I'm going to secure some of this greenery to the bottom in between the feet of the sleigh. And then I have these little Merry Christmas ornaments. They're supposed to be ornaments for a Christmas tree, but I just really like that Merry Christmas tag. So I'm going to secure one of those tags up on the side of my wreath. Like that. And there is my Merry Christmas sleigh wreath. Isn't that adorable? And it was very, very easy to make. I love that little sleigh. All right, for wreath number 2, we're going to use one of those wreath forms again, and this is loop yarn. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that's what it's really called, but I found this on Amazon, and I'm going to start by securing the yarn onto the wreath form, just like we did on the first wreath. And then I'm just going to wrap the yarn around the wreath form. Now, to make this nice and full, you really want to keep each roll or strand that you go around the wreath form, you want to keep those edges really close together. And to help that out, it does help if you use a little bit of hot glue every now and then, just to make sure the yarn is staying in place. Now it can be a little bit cumbersome, as you can see, to wrap that yarn around the wreath, but I promise it will be worth it when you are all done with this project. And look at how those loops just kind of stack out on top of each other. That makes this so pretty. And I will leave a link down in the description box below in case you'd like to get some of this yarn for yourself. And now I'm just about finished, so all we have to do is secure that yarn to the last remaining showing piece of the wreath form. And look at that. Isn't that adorable? Oh my goodness, that is such a pretty wreath. And if you wanted to leave it plain just like this, you could, but I want to add some of these bottle brush trees because I thought that would look really pretty on the wreath. So I'm just going to secure one of them with the base included to the center of the bottom of the wreath. And then I didn't have any smaller size ones, so I just cut these bottle brush trees using my handy husky nippers and made them the size that I wanted them to be. And then I just secured them in place with some hot glue as well. And I thought I wanted 3, but I decided, you know what, I want one more tree on my wreath, so I went ahead and added a 4th tree. Then I also found these floral sprays at Walmart, and they were very affordable at 96 cents. So I just cut off a couple pieces of the floral spray and attached it to the wreath as well. And he's all done. Here is my adorable yarn and bottle brush tree wreath. Again, this was very easy to make. It took less than an hour to make a very, very pretty, nice addition for my Christmas decorating. And moving on to wreath number 3, we have another styrofoam Dollar Tree wreath form and some of this amazing floral ribbon, which is 18 feet long, which is actually a lot of ribbon. So all I'm going to do is start by attaching the ribbon to the wreath form, and then I'm just going to wrap that ribbon all the way around the wreath form. Now I did find that if I did a little bit of hot glue when I was wrapping it, it made it a little bit easier. And it's okay that it gets kind of wrinkly. I think that gives it a little more rustic and realistic appearance. And I just kept pulling the ribbon tight as I worked my way around the wreath. And once I got to the end, I secured it with some hot glue and then did a little bit more hot glue just to make sure I had all of the edges secured down, and then used this little finger protector from the Dollar Tree to secure the edge down. Then I took the ribbon itself and I just kind of folded over a piece and made it like this is going to be the tail of a bow. And I gave it a, I think they call this a swallow's tail, and I just cut the corner off on each piece that is the tail of the bow. And then I made little loops that I had just hot glued the ends together, and then I made a bow. I'm not fancy enough to know how to make the fancy bows that everybody else seems to be able to know how to make. So this does take a little bit more time, but to me, I think it was worth it because I really like how the bow turned out. And here is my finished bow. I really, really like that. And the little tails, I think they look very nice. And then I'm going to use that spray again that I got from Walmart. And I'm just going to add a little bit of floral accent that looks like it's tucked back behind the bow. Look at how pretty that is. And next I did want to add just something a little bit extra, so I had a couple of these jingle bells, so I attached some jingle bells underneath the bow. And there is my beautiful ribbon wreath. Almost looks like birch tree wreath. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with how he turned out. I think he is adorable and very festive and very Christmassy. Christmassy? Is that a word? Pretty neat what you can do with some Dollar Tree ribbon. And we are on to the last wreath, and again using a Dollar Tree wreath form. And this is some velvet yarn that I've had for a long time, and I thought, you know what, let's do something a little bit different and a little less traditional. I'm going to make a red wreath. I thought this would look really pretty, and with this velvet yarn it looks so fancy. So I just secured the yarn to the wreath form, and like the other one where I used the yarn, I just wrapped the yarn around the wreath form. And this yarn is actually very easy to work with, and we're not doing two separate colors, we're just doing one color. So you can wrap the yarn all the way around the wreath. And as you can see, I don't even have a full skein, however you say that, of the yarn, but I made do with what I had, and it didn't take very much yarn at all. So I just secure everything in place with my hot glue gun, and look at how pretty that is already. So then I had these little snowflake embellishments that I got from a Dollar Tree something, and I just secured those in place with some hot glue. They actually are covering up where I had a little bit of glue showing, and so I wanted something to cover that glue. So I put those little snowflakes on, and then I had these reindeer ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and I thought they would look really pretty in the center of this wreath. So I put one in place, and then I did cut the legs on the other one so that the back legs are shorter. And then I secured him in place just like that. Now I didn't show you this part, but I did add a little bit of that Dollar Tree greenery to the bottom of the wreath as well. I thought it looked really pretty where the reindeer are standing. And these are all of the wreaths. Again, you guys, these are so easy to make, and I think they turned out beautifully. Again, super easy projects that you can do in a very short period of time. And be sure to come back on Thursday when I have a brand new video with lots more Christmas DIY decor.